Welcome. I'm joined on a cold winter morning at the India Today Business Today studios at the World Economic Forum at Davos by India's largest software exporter, the Chief Executive and Managing Director of Tata Consultancy, Krithivasan. Thank you very much, sir.
Good morning, Rahul.
Fabulous having you with us early this morning. You know, there's so much buzz and talk about artificial intelligence and the impact this is having on the Indian IT sector. So I thought this will be a great opportunity for you to take everyone watching at this time through, how you've been able to leverage AI on the workflow in TCS at this moment and your outlook from here on.
Fantastic. Once again, good morning. Okay, the way we look at AI is a very, very defining and groundbreaking, path-breaking technology. And the applications are myriad, like right from software engineering is only one part of it. And what you can do with this technology in creating new products, new services, improving customer experience, immense possibilities. So, like I said, we do approach it from three angles. One is, how do we train all our associates, they be ready for providing services in artificial intelligence to our customers. So, almost 500,000 of our associates, we have trained them, we have created a sandbox where they can experiment, dirty their hands, learn and be comfortable with this technology. Second, you know that we are very industry focused organization. Each one of our industry groups, they are looking at the value chains in that industry, looking at where all generative AI could be a major advantage, either in terms of bringing more efficiency, productivity or new products and service. So they are taking that to our customers, saying that this is what we can do. The third, you asked about what do we do internally. There are some very immediate low-hanging fruits, as I call, for instance, HR applications, like how do you recruit, how do you interview, and employee welfare, like when they have a question on if what is my leave balance, or what course I should be studying, or if I studied a course, how well I have done. So, lot of
spend some time talking to us about how recruitment is changing. You know, you're saying how we recruit, how we upscale, that's changing as a result of AI. So, take us through some of the changes you've been able to make internally.
First is like CV scanning, right? You have a job description. Even the job description nowadays can be written through artificial intelligence. Somebody gives a high level information based on the requirement they have with them. So you can write a nice JD using artificial intelligence. Now you publish the job description, you get the CVs. Now again you can scan the CVs and see where is the best match. And you can also get the artificial intelligence to tell you which are the areas you find there's a weakness, where there's a strength, what type of questions, which areas you can ask the questions. Now the person answers the questions, you are able to evaluate. But I am not saying that anywhere we'll take the human out of the loop. I don't think we are ready to take human out of the loop. This is more like an assist and augment a human being in what they are doing in a more efficient way, and probably in a more confident and assured way. Okay, it provides that assurance. So now you do the interview. Now you know how well the person fits for against the job description. You decide take them. You know what areas you have to train, how much of training the person needs. So this is a very, very important.
So you're saying this is human plus AI.
Absolutely.
But the biggest concern is, and I attended quite a few of the AI sessions at the World Economic Forum, and they're talking about how, thanks to artificial intelligence technologies, the amount of time required to get something done, say the budgeting process,
right,
or the software development process, gets crunched substantially. Roshni Nadar was here yesterday, and she said that the amount of time required to building a particular software is down about 70% as a result of AI. That ultimately means that you will need far fewer humans than you do at the moment, and that would be a huge concern to people at TCS and everybody else watching.
No, this is a question that's been asked by everyone, but I've also been talking to many of the leaders here. Our current thinking is, you take every other technology advancement that's happened before. Every technology advancement increase the amount of work output that happened, and thereby increase the number of people it required. It did not reduce the number of people we deployed. But if you had 100 programmers today, we may not need the same 100 Java programming skill set. Maybe you will need only 20 of them. The other 80 would be involved in 80 or even more would be involved in training the model, or in terms of orchestrating the model, or in terms of finding out what new products and services we can take to the client. So at this time we still believe it will be net positive in terms of how many people we will need. It's not going to be net negative. So we are not concerned on workforce shrinking or our requirements shrinking in terms of number of people we need.
What's the advice you're giving to your resources at TCS and to those watching in terms of upskilling and acquiring the cutting edge new skills which can keep them relevant in the rapidly changing job market?
Multiple things they can do, but to me, I am a sort of conservative guy on this one. First of all, what are your core competency? If it is programming, understand the fundamentals of programming very well. Like many people, what I find nowadays is their basics are very weak. They just want to pick up one skill set for a few days and think that they have got the capability. That doesn't cut. So whatever your support, if you are a programmer and computer scientist, understand that very well. Second is once you in the area of artificial intelligence, there are multiple things. You can be a LLM model creator. You can be a model trainer. You can learn to do fine tuning. There are so many techniques coming in. Then in terms of when your companies like TCS, our focus is on contextualizing these technologies and ensuring that our customers get the best value out of the technology. So understand the customer context. Where would this technology help the customer, either in terms of productivity, or you spoke in terms of reducing the amount of time involved in doing a particular activity, or what new product, new services, how do you drive the top line? So we should think in terms from the perspective of the customer, how this technology can be used. So either you can be increase your technical capability. You can also look at how do you use this technology to drive more benefit to the customer. So opportunity is immense.
What's your current deal pipeline looking like at TCS, and what's your outlook for the next several months?
We have not been Rahul publishing the pipeline, but we did talk about the order book. Order book has been very strong for last quarter. Pipeline is looking very strong, despite the fact that we had a strong deal book. We booked a high number of deals last quarter. Pipeline is looking very strong, and outlook is, as we've been talking, quite positive.
What are the trends that you're picking up on the basis of the conversations you're having with your customers about the mood globally in the United States, in Europe, and elsewhere?
As we were chatting before, as we speak to the business industries and businessmen from North America, US particularly, I would say quite optimistic to bullish. Like when you talk to them, they are very happy, looking forward to some amount of deregulation happening and more business-friendly measures being taken. They are looking forward to that. And there is also expectation some interest rate cut will happen over a period of time, which will also incentivize some amount of capex. So North American businessmen, particularly USSZ, are quite optimistic. In fact, UK also, they believe that they have hit a bottom. They should be looking up. In fact, I was talking to a couple of people from UK. UK is also quite optimistic. Europe, I think, will probably take a quarter or two to have the same amount of optimism.
There's a debate raging over H-1B visas in the United States. So between deep MAGA and dark MAGA, a big divide about how to approach H-1B visas. And this is of huge concern to Indian software engineers, many of whom think of H-1B visas as the ultimate panacea to get out of India, to work in Silicon Valley and elsewhere. How concerned are you by the political noises around H-1B, and how could this impact TCS in the US?
From a TCS business continuity perspective, we don't see an impact. We have roughly about 40,000 associates working in North America. Out of that, more than 50% are locals. And we, on a given year, we take around approximately 3,000 visas people go from here. So our dependence on H-1B is quite limited. If the number of visas issued decreases even further, we'll be able to manage. We have a very strong local pipeline. We can take people from there. We have a good training program. Okay, so
but this creates a lot of uncertainty, because not just you run a company, you're a techie yourself, and you understand the mindset of Indian software programmers, it creates a lot of uncertainty because they work very hard to build out a certain position from themselves, and now it's in jeopardy. So how are you dealing with that uncertainty?
See, the way I grew up, I never thought that going to US is the ultimate calling in life. Like there's so much that can happen in India. Like Indian ecosystem is so robust. So much happening, lot of opportunities, so many startups.
So you're encouraging techies to come back?
Absolutely. There's so much that can happen in India and happening in India, and you're not missing out anything by not going there.
But are you picking this up in the conversations you're having with your team and elsewhere about a heightened desire or interest in coming back?
That too, like see, given the opportunities in India, we do see people like wanting to come back. It's, I won't say heightened, but compared to what you saw 5 years ago, today people are more willing to come back and work.
And partly also because of the uncertainty around H1B visa.
I don't think it's because of uncertainty. I would rather say that the kind of opportunities and the buzzing ecosystem they see in India is probably what the reason. I don't think the uncertainty is an issue for anyone to come back here.
I want to spend some time talking about the trends in artificial intelligence you see from here on. There's a big debate raging in the different sessions of the World Economic Forum about large language models and whether they will keep transforming their capabilities massively, or have they been able to scar all the publicly available data online and on the internet, and therefore have they reached a certain level of maturity and a saturation and a plateau. So where do you come out on this? Do you see massive transformative changes in what people should expect from AI in 2025, or do you think it's kind of reached a level of plateau in terms of its capabilities?
See, the LLM per se, what's happening is they're all using the same transformer technology, and we are achieving more or seeing more intelligence by massive training or increasing the number of parameters. To me, both of them will hit a plateau sometime or other, or because after that, like if you have billions of parameters, you are not, even by having few more billions of parameters, the intelligence or the response is not going to change. But the value the value can come today. It's mostly text based. From text based, video based, you're getting more intelligence on. So multimodal is going to increase the level of intelligence and increase the level of insights you get. So those kind of technological advances, not necessarily in the LLM technology itself, but how you leverage this technology can bring in new value. But over a period of time, this should plateau on in terms of if as long as it is based on this transformer technology. Somebody can come up with something else that could be a bigger breakthrough.
One of the critiques we hear often about Indian IT companies is that they're spending so much time working on use cases of artificial intelligence, making India in some ways the use case capital, rather than trying to attempt to have the audacity to be at the very cutting edge of the development of large language models. They are content with being the use case capital of the world. How do you look at as an industry leader? How do you look at this?
To me, it's evolution, Rahul. Like Silicon Valley has had a head start of so many years. So over a period of time that they have this advantage, like it's not the individuals, the whole ecosystem, how they look at, how they want to be approaching innovation. And India has grown like a services economy for a long period of time. But now, after so many years, you see so many startups coming up, very interesting products coming up. To me, it's two aspects. One is question of time. Two, people's risk-taking ability also improves. You keep talking about LLMs, right? For every 100 people that try to develop LLM, only 1 or 2 would succeed. But how many people would be ready for that kind of risk? And so, as I said, it's an evolution. Like I will not be too worried about why only LLMs are being developed in the Western world, not in India. Like there are some people like developing LLMs in India, trying to do in Indic languages. So much happens, but it's as I said, to me, it's a evolution, and it will happen.
So you're partnering with NVIDIA. Do you want to take our viewers through how that works and how it's likely to play out?
So NVIDIA's, as you just mentioned some time ago, like all our the use cases, our strength is looking at what is, for instance, manufacturing. Manufacturing industry uses artificial intelligence in a big way. And right from autonomous car driving, testing those cars, and so many areas. Now, how do we leverage the NVIDIA chip using the software platform provided by them, and how does a solution bring in the efficiency for our end customers using the NVIDIA chip? So that is what our job is in stitching these two ends. So that's where we work, and we have been developing solutions across multiple industries.
There's a huge debate raging over work-life balance with Narayan Murthy at Infosys, Subramaniam at Larsen & Toubro talking about 70 hours, 90 hours. How many hours do you work, Krithi?
See, it doesn't matter actually. There are weeks I work 60 hours. There are weeks that I work only 40 hours. I think over a period of time you find your own balance and you become happy with what you
No, that was just a question on the side. The more critical question is, how do you look at this debate over work-life balance and the charge leveled by some industry veterans that this young generation is more interested in balance than in work?
I won't comment anything on the young workforce. I think they put in their best effort. And as I said, we are also taking the comments from these veterans out of context and blowing it out of proportion. We have to see the spirit of what they said. I think in this internet age, we take the spirit of what they said. We are just getting into meme war and meme fest. I think that's not doing justice to the veterans, what they have achieved over the years. I think we take the spirit, essentially saying that like we need to work sincerely, like put in all the best effort. And I think, but anyway, the young workforce...
You've seen the kind of pushback on the idea of working on Sundays. You know, he thinks it's logical and normal, and everybody else is saying like, what is
that's what I'm saying. Don't take whatever he said out of context, because I was not there, you were not there when he said that. Taking something out of context is unfair to them. But if you take our work, the way we all grew up, there are times we worked on Sundays. Like when there is something going live on a Monday, you will work on a Sunday. But there are times when you don't work on a Friday, Saturday, Thursday also, because there is not much of work or you work the previous week throughout. So, as I said, work-life balance is something that what you find is most comfortable to you, and sometimes what the situation demands, and nobody is going to be asked to work for Sundays for years together, right?
I see you being very diplomatic.
I'm not being diplomatic, I'm just being honest. Like, we are blowing these things out of proportion. When people say something, you have to take the context on what they intend to say, and they are people that have achieved so much, and don't disregard what they have done.
Most certainly. Okay, Krithivasan, for joining us early this morning, thank you very much. I hope I didn't freeze you.
No, it's very good.
Taking out time and joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.